Reloading! Alright guys, welcome back. Today's video, as we all know, will be following the front line of the war on Rojava by Turkish forces. It's the third day of this whole series, and you know, we're just beginning. This is only the third day of the attack, but we're already seeing a ton of movements and it seems changes of strategy. So I'm going to be explaining it all today. Before I start though, if you haven't subscribed already, join the almost 4,000 of us. It seems like we gain like a couple hundred subscribers each day. People are wanting to know more about the front line, more about what is happening there. Not just the U.S. is pulled out. So it's encouraging to see, and I'm going to do my best to help you guys out. So let's start off where we always do, in the very western part of Syria, which is called Tal Rafat. This area has been controlled since 2018 by the YPG forces, and we are not seeing any movement. Like just the last 3 days, we're only seeing bombardments from both sides, trying to test each other's fortifications, try and test each other, what they're going to react with, especially with the invasion happening more east. So Tal Rafat still standing. And if we look more to the east, but still west of the Euphrates River, we see the city of Manbij, and we are actually seeing the first bombardments, heavy bombardments, and some clashes with the Manbij Security Council, which is part of the SDF, part of the YPG. And I understand it gets confusing to follow which forces are with who. The Manbij Security Council, I've never heard of that. They're all sort of the same thing. Anything that's in Rojava territory and they're fighting against the Turks, most likely they're part of the YPG/SDF. Alright? Let's keep that clear. So anyway, Manbij, nothing much happening. We see the same old. If we go north to Drabulis, they have not reported any artillery in the last day. Like I said, I didn't think that there was going to be much heavy fighting there. It was just the same stuff that we've seen over the last year and a half, which is just some artillery, but nothing much happening there. Was not surprised. When we look at Kobani, though, we're seeing retaliatory mortar and artillery bombardments by the YPG going into Turkish territory. They targeted one of the Turkish police outposts, and it looks like there was 2 KIA from Turkish forces there. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, I mentioned Hatay, the Kurdish Red Crescent. They are reporting that there is 190,000 internally displaced people. Not from Kobani, but from the whole of northeast Syria. So it's happening, and people are being affected by this very heavily. So I just hope that the UN will wake up and start reporting this stuff and actually taking action. It only took 50 U.S. soldiers being in northeast Syria to prevent this. I don't know why not one country in the UN can't just put 50 soldiers in this area. It's a little silly. I think we all know my opinion on that. But yeah, that's what we have in Kobani. As we go towards Gîre Spî, which is the next big city, we just see a little bit of artillery bombardments just east of Kobani. But when we get to Gîre Spî, we are still seeing a fierce resistance by the YPG fighters. No matter how far the FSA and the Turkish forces try and surround this city, they're still holding off. And this says a lot. I mean, the city is big, but it's not that big. Gîre Spî still being bombed, still having airstrikes. I'm guessing that maybe the tires have now, perhaps they are done burning, and now they're not able to prevent against the warplanes, because it looks like some jets and airstrikes are hitting that city as we speak. But yes, the only villages and towns that are being taken are just on the right side of Gîre Spî, the eastern side. Still, the southern area is not being touched. That is still open to reinforcements and supplies from the SDF. So, hey, they're still holding out, and I'm going to be curious to see what happens. It looks like the SDF is sort of playing it kind of cool right now. They are not putting too many reinforcements, just like back in Afrin, where they storm the border with as many reinforcements as possible right from the get-go, like right at the front line, and then all of them die. It looks like they're playing it a little bit slower. They know this is a long war, and they know that this is the entire border. So they need to make sure that they have reinforcements able to go at a moment's notice. As we look a little bit south, obviously there are no more Turkish airstrikes, just like I reported yesterday. The SDF mourned 7 fighters who lost their lives in the last days. I'm hearing reports that it's close to 200 fighters that are killed now from the SDF. I would assume that is correct. There are too many artillery bombardments, too many airstrikes to only account for 7. But I would be interested to see the casualties of the Turkish side. I think that it is probably similar to that. They have taken much more material damage as we see actual Turkish armored vehicles getting destroyed by the TOW missiles like I described yesterday. Anyway, also south of here, it looks like there is a U.S. patrol with SDF forces. I can't imagine what that patrol is probably like right now. The U.S. forces are still in Syria, but they just backed down from the border, letting Turkey invade. But they're still patrolling with them. Yeah, that's got to be crazy to be on the SDF side right now. Doing joint patrols with the country that just pretty much signed your death warrant if this war lasts a couple years. Yes, that is what's happening. As we move more east, like I said, we're almost to Gîre County. We have some more reports of internally displaced peoples, just 2,500 in this one camp alone between these two cities. Like I said, the civilians are trying to back out of there. We are getting early reports, like I said, that Gîre County has been taken. I don't buy it. I don't think that it's taken just yet. We'll see tomorrow for sure, but I don't think it's taken. That's what the FSA forces are saying. We have controlled Gîre County, northeast Syria. Like I said, this is a massive city. There is no way that you can clear every single house in there in one day. I promise you that. And although the FSA are some jihadists, you know what, they're going to be a little bit more careful, especially going through the terrain of a very urban, dense city. There is just too many people there, and I don't think that it is taken just yet. I would almost 100% say that it is not taken. They are just reporting that as an early reporting, saying that we are going to be taken in the next week, basically. But this war is so up in the air right now, as we move a little bit more to the east, trying to get to the city of Kamishlo, we see in Darbasia, we have an artillery strike, heavy artillery, it says. Yes, that doesn't surprise me. That is a bigger city. I bet I passed through it. I just don't remember it. But yes, that city is being bombed. It is a bigger city, though. So we need to mention that. As we move more to the east, the Kurdish Red Crescent is asking for people to donate blood from all types. Yes, the civilians are taking heavy losses. I don't know if you looked at their page yesterday, but yes, it is. Civilian casualties are happening. Men, women, children, and it's, yeah. And now we're at the city of Kamishlo. Kamishlo, we see the same artillery bombardments, both from the SDF and the Turkish forces. But the major thing that has happened in the last 24 hours is a car bomb. ISIS has claimed a car bomb attack, killed 4 people and injured 7, I see. I would imagine that the death toll will rise as time goes on. That happens, injuries. People succumb to their injuries, and especially children. It's hard to... they don't the supplies that they have there. I'll give you a personal idea. So when I was there in Syria, I had pneumonia. I got pneumonia. It was about the same time frame. It was November, December time period where I got pneumonia, and I went to the doctor, and it was kind of crazy. They give you medicine. They give you a lot of medicine. Just take this 4 times a day. Take this 3 times a day. But you look at the package and it says Aleppo 2011 and 2007, and I'm like. Like, this stuff is already, it's not working, and it's clear why. It's too old, it's coming from far away, and it's just, yeah. I don't think that it's beneficial, but that's all they have. That's the only thing they have is drugs from 10 years ago. Yeah, like I said, if you have any money that you would like to donate, I would definitely suggest Havasor. They are the people on the ground, the medics, helping people out, and the hospitals are run by them, or a lot of the hospitals are. So that's my suggestion if you do want to help out. I know a lot of people are asking me right now, how do I join? How can I join? Well, I'll tell you what, I bet the border is closed to join, both out of Syria and to Syria. So I would just suggest, as of right now, if you have any means of funding them, that would be the best way. And Havasor, like I said, I can't say that enough. Havasor is doing wonderful things, and they're saving lives. So if you were to donate, imagine this. If you think about it, the U.S. dollar is worth so much more than anything that they have in Syria. So if you give them $10 US, that is an insane amount of money over there. So think about that. It's and they will be able to help as many people as possible, even with just $10. So that's my opinion. As we move more east, we have artillery strikes just east of Kamishlo, about 20 or 30 kilometers. And as we get to Derek, we don't see any updates on this map regarding any attacks, any SDF forces pushing into Turkey. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I feel like the reportings of the bombings and the reportings of the clashes there are just not being reported at this moment. So I would be interested to see what's going to happen tomorrow. I think that it will be reported on, but that's just my prediction. Well, overall, what have we seen today? We see also some bombings in Deir ez-Zor. So the main thing I would say is just ISIS. Obviously, we know Turkey is attacking. There's a front line that's occurring against them, and you know that's war. But the really sticky issue right now is the sleeper cells of ISIS that are awaking, and they are actually bombing Qamishlo, and they are waking up in Deir ez-Zor, as I had said yesterday, and now we are getting confirmed there are airstrikes in Deir ez-Zor by coalition forces. This is what happens when you run out of Syria and you're like, oh, I don't care about my allies anymore. Those allies were the reason that the ISIS caliphate was defeated. So that's what you get. This is the result. And the ISIS resurgence is happening. So anyway, guys, I hope you learned something today. If you did, make sure you subscribe for more. Make sure to share with your friends if you thought it was helpful and they could learn from this. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike is fine as well. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.